Hi, I'm Chris Raglin. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. This is my 1986 Honda Civic SI that I've owned since 1993. It was literally at an autocross the first weekend we owned it. We bought it, put shocks on it, took it to an autocross, ran it in D Street, or D Stock back in the day. E-Prepared allows you to do virtually unlimited engine modifications to the original engine. You can't change the stroke, but you can add high compression pistons, different rods, all sorts of head work, but it's normally aspirated, no power adders. You can do anything you want on the transmission side. So this car made about 90 horsepower at the crank stock, and it's making about 150 at the wheels right now. All motor, lots of custom work inside the transmission. It's an Integra transmission with a later model B series differential in it that doesn't naturally fit into that transmission, so it's a whole lot of work to make that happen. Suspension-wise, it's pretty straightforward stuff. It's custom valve Coney doubles, custom front torsion bars, coilovers in the rear. I'm running a very small front sway bar, no rear bar. Brakes are almost all stock with just upgraded pads and no power booster. It's a lot of really simple stuff, but it all really works well together. This car's really well sorted. I mean, I've been working on it for 35 years. We've got it pretty well dialed in. So it's actually really easy to drive. I mean, it's a for a front-wheel drive car, it's pretty loose, but you can save it with the throttle, so it allows you, a lot of, you pretty much drive this car with your pedals, not the steering wheel. So it's very different from driving a rear-wheel drive car where you're catching the car by counter steering. In this car, you're really kind of setting your steering position and then you're adjusting your line with the throttle. And so you're kind of using a different skill set when you drive a car that's set up this way. I mean, it's great that the car is still competitive. All cars kind of have this ebb and flow where, like if it's a new car, it's very expensive. They get to maybe 5 to 7, 8 years old, everything gets really cheap. Parts are available. And then for this car, like as they waned in popularity, I picked up a lot of parts really cheap, race parts as people were parting out cars and whatnot. But now we're so far past that part of the curve that I have to make just about everything I put on this car. I mean, it's hard to find bearings for the motor. It's hard to find an oil pump. It's all the suspension parts are handmade. I've got spherical bearings and everything. I had to do all that myself. Everything now is very difficult to come by. My wife and I talk about it. It's actually her car. It's titled in her name still. It was her car in college for us, but it's like family. I mean, it's like an old dog that we've owned for so long. It's really hard to think about what's next.
Support brands that support grassroots motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. Visit crcindustries.com to learn more.